legitimate outfit. So he's gonna. Did you see his
Yeah.
memorabilia?
Yeah, let me.
I mean,
If you don't mind, I'll give you over to Tommy real quick because he knows all that stuff. Hang on a second. Tommy, this is Silver.
Hey, Silver, Tommy J here. Ah, cool. When I actually used to play harmonica for a while, and my stage name was the Silver Tongue. Yeah. Well, it's so funny when I met Darrell. I didn't know who I mean I know of him, and he comes in and says, "Hey, Darrell Mansfield here," and shook his hand and stuff, and I found out, oh, you play music. So I started talking to him. I used to play, harmonica in bars and everything, and then I asked him, I go, "What do you play?" And he goes, "Harmonica," and then it all came like, crashing down around me like, "Oh, you mean like Darrell Mansfield?" I was freaking out. It was so funny. It was funny, and I'm like, "Oh, great!" It would be like, sitting down with Eric Clapton and saying, "Yeah, I play guitar," It was pretty hilarious. So we were joking around and stuff, and he was friends with my neighbor Tom, who we got going with some of the oil stuff in his car, and so Tom loves Darrell a whole lot, and so he says, "Yeah, we got to get your car taken care of." And Darrell was just all excited simply because it was green technology stuff, reduce the emissions, and just on that standpoint, he thinks it's important, and he's been dealing with a lot of folks, and from the different churches that are trying to make a difference and everything, and but then he went out and got an extra 100 miles on his gas tank, and he's like, "Oh my gosh." So yeah, it's for real stuff. It's just so I know there are some companies out there that they talk about putting a magnet, on your fuel line, or they have some pills they're going to throw in the gas tank, and everybody knows that's just a whole bunch of BS. And what we do, we do have a fuel additive, but that's not the real ticket. What really happens here is that this oil is beyond anything you've ever seen of. Even though it's been used since the 70s, you haven't heard about it because it was a state secret in Russia for the military up until 1994. And I actually work with the company that has the rights to bring this around the planet and stuff, and that's what we're doing. And so anyway, we ran into Darrell, but what it does is, like, when it gets in your crankcase and when it gets in your transmission and your differential, all these things, it drastically reduces the friction. Honestly, there are only two ways that you can increase your gas mileage. Because a lot of people don't realize in modern engines, gas is burning at about 95% efficiency or better. So there's just not a whole lot of room to move the needle, as far as making your gas burn better. Because of the EPA and stuff, these modern engines are doing a great job. You can increase your gas mileage if you were to take a chainsaw to the car and cut half the weight off. You make the car easier to push. It doesn't weigh as much. You don't need as much gas to push it. The other honest, legitimate thing you can do is so drastically reduce the friction that, again, you make the car easier to push. And that's what we're doing here. It's it's not magic or anything like that, but we have stuff for the tires. A lot of people don't realize how much air leaks out of their tires, and you can be getting mile per gallon or worse gas mileage simply because your tires are not inflated properly. So we have something that seals those up. We have something for the transmission. That's a huge piece of drag on your whole system there, and for the engine. And when you add all these things up, on average over the last 5 years, we're saving folks around 20% on the fuel costs. And that's kind of what gets people excited about us, to let them talk to us. But actually, that's the least of what we're doing. When you're reducing your wear and tear on these systems 80-90%, that also means you're not doing the maintenance, because it's not breaking down. You're getting further distance out of it, and that's the real economy. If you have I have a 2003 Suburban, and I have 115, 120,000 on it or whatever, and it's all paid for, and that's my favorite kind of truck. It's paid for, and as long as it lasts now, because I've really been protecting the engine and all the different parts, that's just month after month after month of no $750 a month truck payment, and that's the real savings. Yes, the gas savings more than pays for the product, like many times over, but you're really going to see it in the life of your vehicle, being able to count on it, it running cooler and all those kinds of things. So that's what we're doing. And Darrell got kind of excited. He's been telling all his friends about it, and they've been calling me up like, is this for real? I'm like, actually, yeah, it is. Correct. It's nothing but oil, and it is registered with the EPA. It's not a EPA doesn't test it or anything, but it's we register the product saying this is it's oil and it's gas additive stuff, and so it's all fine. Yes. Sure. There's a you can go to my website. It's www.tommyj the letter J.com. And there's actually a video on there when we got Darrell started on it. It was pretty fun, and you can click on it and see that. And it shows some stuff out of the. I think the things that impressed Darrell were some of the things out of the dragsters. There's some pictures on there that explain that kind of stuff, and there's some videos there that'll show how this oil compares to other oils on a cross-axis tester. And that's the real deal right there, where it's you can see that this performs over 700% better than anything else, and it's pretty cool. And just so you know, there's nothing in there that can hurt your engine. There are no alcohols or waxes or plastics or the Teflon stuff, no chlorinated paraffins, nothing. This is actually oil. The reason it's doing what you'll see it doing is because Mr. Wizard has figured out how to make it positively charged, and that's the difference. So it's not. Yeah, it is. It is. I know it's terrific. I mean, when I first heard about it, I said, "Give me a flipping break." The only problem was somebody who I really respect a lot, named D. Michael Rideout, was working for this company, and I asked a friend of mine. I said, "Has he lost his mind? He's working for one of these gas mileage companies because there's never been one that's been real." And I was pretty darn hostile, actually. And after checking into it, I'm like, these guys might be onto something. And so I decided, bring my car to the auto shop and get it all tested. And then I did it, had it all tested again, and the emissions were a little bit better. But the main thing was my truck went from about 13 miles per gallon to around 19. That's a 7,000-pound pig. I mean, I drive a Suburban. And to move the needle that much, I was like, oh my gosh, this is a license to print money. So I went to work for him, and I've been having a blast. I've been helping lots of people save a bunch of money, on their fuel costs, plus the maintenance side is, that's the long-term stuff. You don't see that this month. But it's cool. And if you know anybody who does sales kinds of work, we are looking for folks to help us ring the bell. The company pays really well. We're getting Darrell set up with some extra checks and stuff that seems to help him out, and so that stuff's there too, and you can see some of that on the website. Sure, on my website there's phone numbers right there. Feel free to call me at any time. Just remind me that you're Darrell's friend and stuff, and if you'd like us to get some stuff out to you, you'll love it. But just so you know, everything the company has is 100% money back guarantee. We don't make any claims that you'll get any particular mileage or whatever, but what we do say is you will love this stuff, because you'll feel the horsepower right away. The increased torque is just like wow, and you'll see it on the video, and then when you put it in your car, it's like, oh man, it's pretty cool. All right, well, good to meet you. Okay, sir. Bye bye. So that was your friend there, and we'll get him started, and he's going to go to the website, and you're doing a great job pitching. I guess you're starting to like this stuff, huh?
I love it. It's a no-brainer.
Cool.
Saving me money. That's I mean, that gas tank needle didn't hardly even move all the way from Moreno Valley, Moron Valley to Costa Mesa.
Cool.
Literally. I mean, it might have moved that much.
Excellent. Well, thank you.
It's amazing.